Have you ever felt like the whole world was against you just for doing the right thing? It's a tough spot to be in, but today we are diving into the story of a man who faced exactly that and showed incredible faith. This is the story of Daniel in the lion's den. Our story begins in the ancient kingdom of Babylon, ruled by a powerful king named Darius. In his court, there was a man named Daniel. He wasn't just any man. He was known throughout the kingdom for his wisdom, integrity, and his deep, unwavering faith in God. King Darius saw how exceptional Daniel was and planned to put him in charge of the entire kingdom. But this didn't sit well with everyone. The other high officials and governors grew jealous. They watched Daniel closely, trying to find some fault in his work, some mistake they could use against him. But they couldn't. Daniel was honest, diligent, and completely trustworthy. There was no scandal to uncover, no error to report. So, these jealous officials came up with a wicked plan. They knew Daniel's one unbreakable habit. He prayed to his God 3 times a day, every single day. His faith was the one thing they could twist and use against him. They presented a flattering proposal to King Darius. They suggested the king make a new law, one that would make him seem even more powerful. The law was simple. For the next 30 days, no one in the kingdom was allowed to pray to any god or man except to King Darius himself. Anyone who disobeyed would be thrown into a den of hungry lions. The king, flattered by the idea and not suspecting their true motive, signed the decree. And in those days, a law signed by the king could not be changed. Now, Daniel heard about the new law. He knew exactly what it meant for him. He had a choice. He could pray in secret, or he could stop praying for 30 days to save his own life. But Daniel's faith wasn't a matter of convenience. It was the core of who he was. So what did he do? He went home, opened his windows that faced toward Jerusalem, and knelt down to pray, just as he always did. He didn't hide. He didn't waver. He prayed to God, giving thanks 3 times that day. He chose his faithfulness to God over the king's command, knowing full well the terrible price he might have to pay. Of course, the officials were watching. As soon as they saw Daniel praying, they rushed back to the king. "Didn't you sign a law?" they asked, "that anyone who prays to another god or man for the next 30 days would be thrown to the lions?" The king confirmed it. "Well," they said, "Daniel, one of the exiles, is ignoring your command. He is still praying to his God 3 times a day." When King Darius heard this, his heart sank. He realized he had been tricked. He liked and respected Daniel and spent the rest of the day desperately trying to find a loophole, a way to save him. But his own law trapped him. The officials reminded him that the law of the Medes and Persians could not be repealed. As evening fell, the king had no choice. With a heavy heart, he gave the order. Daniel was brought to the den of lions. The king looked at Daniel and said, "May your God, whom you serve so faithfully, rescue you." Then they threw Daniel into the pit of lions, and a large stone was rolled over the mouth of the den. The king sealed it with his own ring, so that no one could interfere. That night, the king couldn't eat or sleep. He was tormented by what he had done. He tossed and turned, waiting for the sun to rise. Meanwhile, in the den, something incredible was happening. Daniel was not alone. God had sent an angel to shut the lions' mouths. They were as gentle as lambs. He was surrounded by powerful, hungry lions, but he was completely unharmed. Daniel spent the night in peace, protected by his God. At the first light of dawn, the king rushed to the lion's den. His voice was filled with anguish as he called out, "Daniel, servant of the living God, has your God, whom you serve so faithfully, been able to rescue you from the lions?" Imagine the king's surprise and relief when a voice called back from the darkness of the pit. It was Daniel. "O king, live forever," he said. "My God sent his angel and shut the lions' mouths, and they have not harmed me, because I was found innocent in his sight. And also before you, O king, I have done no wrong." The king was overjoyed. He commanded that Daniel be lifted out of the den immediately. When they brought him out, they examined him and found not a single scratch on him, because he had trusted in his God. But the story doesn't end there. The king was furious with the men who had plotted against Daniel. He ordered that they, along with their families, be thrown into the very same lion's den. And this time, the lions showed their true nature. Before the men even reached the floor of the den, the lions overpowered them. After this miraculous event, King Darius sent out a new decree to every part of his kingdom. He wrote, "I make a decree that in all my royal dominion, people are to tremble and fear before the God of Daniel. For he is the living God, enduring forever. His kingdom shall not be destroyed, and his dominion shall be to the end. He delivers and rescues. He works signs and wonders in heaven and on earth. He who has saved Daniel from the power of the lions." And so, Daniel continued to prosper throughout the reign of King Darius and beyond. His story became a powerful testament to the fact that faith in God provides strength in the face of fear, and that God protects those who are faithful to him. Daniel's story teaches us a great deal. It shows us the power of consistent faith, even when no one is watching. It teaches us about courage, the courage to stand for what is right, even when it's unpopular or dangerous. And most of all, it is a beautiful reminder of God's miraculous protection and faithfulness to us when we put our trust in Him. No matter what lions you might be facing in your own life, whether it's pressure at school, challenges at work, or fear of the unknown, remember Daniel. Remember that faith isn't about the absence of fear, but about trusting God in the middle of it. Thank you so much for joining us for this incredible story. If it inspired you, please like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe for more stories of faith and courage. See you next time. Remain blessed.